For you, what did you learn about? Because I saw the mic that they had at you. You're like the team's hype man, but also you got the green dot. You also pro. So, what did you learn about leadership and I guess emotional intelligence within that? Like, because you lead different guys different ways.
Yeah, everybody needs to be led differently. Everybody's got different motivations. Everybody loves to be encouraged. Everybody loves to be congratulated. And for me personally, like that's probably my favorite part of the game. Like my favorite part of the game is being a teammate. And, with that being said is, being there to support my guys, whether that's a good play, bad play. Like I love being the cheerleader on the team. I like being, every time somebody make a play, being the first person to run over there to congratulate them, whether that's offense, defense, and just knowing how, when you on the road, it feels like the whole world's against you. You know what I mean? So when you're on the road, I think it's just that much more important to like make sure that you're celebrating your teammates, for their success. Because it's like on the road when you make a big play, everybody goes quiet. So we gotta cheer for each other and just try to have that infectious energy. So
what have you seen from
season where I think you guys have 4 AFC South games in the last 6, really kind of ramps up that competition there. You've been around this team a long time and haven't had a chance to win an AFC South title. What would that mean, do you feel like, for this locker room and this team?
I think it means a lot. I feel like when you look at your goals of the season, that's the first one that you always got to check off. You want to win the division, so no better opportunity than this Sunday against Houston.
What have you seen from Gallimore this season? Because that depth in there is always so important, when you miss one of those 2 big guys.
Nah, Big Nev has definitely been a positive addition, not only on the field but in the locker room. He's a guy that's come in willing to work. We know he's been around, a couple of different locker rooms in the league, and I just feel like he fit in seamlessly with us here. Obviously, we know who DeForest and Grove is, but when you got that third guy coming in, obviously we play a lot of 5 down too. But when you got that third guy coming in with energy and playmaking, man, it makes a big difference. And I think just his effort and the hustle plays that he's made this season has helped us out tremendously.
Zaire, a huge game coming up this Sunday. There's one still in front of you. What is your level of just urgency, just trying to, you're back home, try to get a win here against some AFC South opponent?
Man, I can't wait to be back home. I mean, we've been on the road for a long time, and definitely missing Lucas Oil. So glad to be back home on Sunday. And I mean, honestly, I feel like our urgency has been high all year, every game. I mean, last week was a big game. Atlanta every game is the biggest game of the season because it's the next one. But I will say, the urgency is just a little bit higher knowing we'll be going against Houston.
Z, you've had a lot of guys who you've played alongside in this defense within your linebacker crew. Since Jermaine Pratt has come in the building, how much of an influence and impact has he been able to make simply?
Man, he was playing out of his mind on Sunday, and I loved it. Like, you talk about, celebrating your teammates. I love nothing more than a guy next to me to go flying and making plays. Like, that turns me up for sure. So, he definitely was playing, like, with his head on fire. And he's been solid in that position. Obviously a lot of stuff been going on this season. He's added some stability to it, and obviously his relationship with Lou. Having played in the same defense for 6 years, he's just very comfortable and understanding the things that Lou's asking from him. So it's been helpful. Obviously all of our learning curves and stuff like that too. So it's definitely been a positive.
All season long, you guys have noted just how tight-knit, how much this group wants to fight for one another. Coming off of a little bit of adversity, how much is that either tested or just even maybe put on display when you guys have an opportunity to respond?
Man, I'm looking forward to adversity. Adversity gives you the biggest opportunity for growth. So, I love nothing more than that. I love when people doubt us. I love when people count us out because it's another chance to prove somebody wrong. So, I think those type of situations bring you closer as a team. It hardens you as a team. We got better as a team, right or wrong. So Sunday's another opportunity for growth.
Super random question, but every team has the guy or guys who are in charge of what music gets played, right? And I know it's like Taekwon, maybe Grove, I don't know, but like anyway, who is it, and what are your impressions on them as in that role?
There's a rumor going around the building that I heard from Carly actually that I control the music during practice. That's not true. I don't gonna say I have an influence on it, but I don't think I control it. You know, Tyloo, the D-line always wants to hog the Hawks, and they think they're bigger than everybody, so, you know, they do a good job at it. But, you know, Tyloo definitely plays a big role in it, him and Grove. But, and I mean, you know, I think Ty's got great musical taste. You know, we argue all the time about the difference between Southern music and, you know, East Coast from where I'm from, so that's that. But, you know, you gotta let the young, my theory is you just gotta let the young boys have the aux a good amount, you know. So it was AD. I love AD. Got great musical taste. Shout out to AD. You gotta let the young, because that's how you know what's current. We listen to the same music all over again. You gotta know what's new. So yeah, Tyler do a good job though, and I don't control the music at practice.
You mentioned the opportunities to learn through adversity. In your experience as a veteran, as a voice in this locker room, how do you go about leading, you know, talking guys up, approaching games to make sure that a loss or two doesn't turn into a you know, end of season slide that you guys obviously don't want to have?
Yeah, I think you just keep everything in perspective. Understand, you know, I'm having those conversations with guys, win or lose, you know, just so you always using these, you know, type of scenarios, like I said, for opportunity for growth. Understanding that, you know, a loss is not fatal and a win is not final, you know, so you got to just continue to keep going. When you lose, obviously, you got a bigger magnifying glass. You're going through every single thing. When you win, sometimes you sweep things under the rug. So I think every week presents its own, you know, challenges. And I think every week, you know, is going to call on different guys that have the heavy hat, you know, against, you know, Atlanta with Bijan in the backfield. Yeah, you know, linebackers, we got to stop that run, you know, and then, you know, you play, you know, Houston, and obviously they got, you know, 12 over there. He's a good player. You know, there's other guys that's got to step up and make those plays. So.
See, one more on leadership. You're mic'd up. I know it's partially you probably can't play because you talk, and that's part of who you are.
Right.
We've talked about this in the past, whether it's here, 520, whatever. How have you learned like how much of yourself you can be, if that makes sense, and in what setting? Because all of it makes you who you are, if that makes sense. Like all of it is part of the journey, the story, and you can't not be you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you know, I just feel like I always got to be my authentic self. You know, I feel like, you know, you see that clip of the Eagles fans punching people, the kids punching in the elementary school. Like that's really where I'm from. You know, they not in class, they punching, you know, cowboys. You know, that's literally where I'm from. So. I just feel like I got a unique perspective on some things. I mean, to me, it's just really my competitive nature. And at the end of the day, you know, when you on the field, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You know, I'm in there mixing up with 300-pound guys. And, you know, I don't shy away from that. So I love it, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, we going to hug it out or, you know, we going to figure that out. So, you know, I think it's just who I am, just keep being authentic. But, you know, I have learned as I've grown throughout the league and, you know, start to build actual relationships with some people, you know, there's a level and a line to it too a little bit. So
This weekend being the My Cosmic Leagues game, can you just describe the cause that you've chosen and why?
I believe I chose girls flag for my cleats. You know, being named the global ambassador for flag football has been a really cool experience. You know, just the girls I was able to meet and influence as the game continues to grow, especially like in Indianapolis, has been really special. And you know, it's truly something that's near and dear to my heart. You know, most of the time I've done community service throughout my career has been more like STEM and academic. You know, but kind of getting into girls flag, you kind of get a chance to really grow the game and you know, share that joy and that love that I have for the game with someone else. And especially to the young ladies, you know, being able to step in a whole new area has been really dope too. So. Just thankful for the influences that I've been able to be, and you know, looking forward to continue to further the cause. So.